Therapy is an investment in yourself. It's your time, money, and energy that matter. Hi, I'm Michael Browning again here at the Whitestone Clinic, and we're continuing our course on motivation, how to get the best out of therapy. And this is session 8. What we want to talk to you, obviously, is looking at like the way you understand therapy. It's not a fee for service per se. Technically it is, right? But you're not buying units of time with a therapist. You're buying access to tools and assistance to get better results for yourself. So it's an investment in you. It's a very important concept as you understand therapy. We tend to look at, well, a lot of things actually, not just therapy, but the money it costs and, I don't know, like I'm looking more at money management than I am at like, what is the purpose of spending the money? We have to remember that purpose, right? So if it's important, let's say for food, right? Like, the budget, I got to spend all this money on the food. Like that's real. But we got to eat, right? Like we don't question whether or not we're going to buy food. We might question how much food we can buy, but we don't question we have to buy food. We know the food comes into us. It keeps us living, right? Keeps us nourished, gives us strength. So we're not questioning that we need to eat food. We might have some struggle with the budget and what we buy as food. Well, in a similar way, like therapy is like that. Therapy is this nourishing of the soul. It's the strengthening of the self. And you need to look at it as investment in yourself. Yes, we have to be wise in how we manage our resources in order to have access to the therapy. But, I see a lot of people sacrifice something as important as therapy for themselves, especially when they're going through big transitions in their life. They're trying to do very important things for themselves. And they sacrifice those things, but they still hang on to things that are not that important. So there's an improper hierarchy, right? We put ourselves last a lot of the time. No more important things as well. And I think therapy, especially a lot of therapy revolves around self-care, self-talk, that kind of stuff, because it's about building a healthier relationship with the self, okay? And unfortunately, we see people drop out of therapy or have problems with therapy because they're still approaching it from this old mindset. It's like, I'm going to abandon myself. I'm not going to, I'll do this other thing for this other person, or I have all these other things going on. And instead of like hierarchizing, putting them in order, what's more important, they just keep doing the same things. And there are things that do sometimes need to be put aside. But depending on where you are in life, I don't recommend that therapy would be the easiest one to drop off, because really you're not going to get to your goals, and you're not going to have what you want in your life if you don't have that, like I said earlier, the consistency, the commitment, the accountability, but more so with your commitment to yourself, with the sense of like your value and worth, and that you're worth the investing in. Like if you're investing in stocks or a company or something like that, obviously you look at the thing and you say, is this worth investing in? No, primarily with money investments, you're looking, do I get a better return? Fair enough, because that's how you know it's progress. But we also look at like, why would it be a better return? Like maybe it's partly I like what they're doing. I really want to support that kind of work. I want to support the kind of people that do that kind of work, right? Or it provides an important service to people, and I think it's a good business, and I want that kind of business to succeed. It might be things like that. It might be just even having the idea that investing in one of these businesses or companies is to have a sense of being part of a greater mission, right? And helping out. So there's a number of reasons people invest. It's not just the money return. But when it comes to therapy, like, do you believe in your product? Do you believe in your mission? Do you believe in your entity, like who you are? And if you do, you got to invest. And investing doesn't mean it's always easy. Like there's a lot of times you can be investing into a company and you don't see returns. Like you could quit, like you could pull out and maybe get less money back than what you started with. Or you could sort of see it through the long haul and see it start to come back and succeed. And then you get a great dividend, a great pay back from that. Well, so too with ourselves. And when we go into therapy, we have to have that longer view and understanding. It's not always easy, and sometimes it's awfully tight, but we have to see it as the investment that it is. So we look at the difference between cost and value. A lot of times people starting off in therapy, they really don't understand what it's like to be in therapy, and they don't understand the things I've been saying in this series of talks. And so they look at it as cost. What does therapy cost, right? And it's a fair question, because, like, especially, if you're on a budget and you're looking, you don't want to draw from savings or loans or whatever. But cost is really not the best way to look at therapy. It's looking at value, right? What is the value of this thing? What value will I draw from it? That's really what we have to be thinking of, because if we're looking at cost and we're saying it's money is the most important thing, more important than, let's say, my mental health, my relational health, etc. And if that's true, maybe you want to go to therapy to talk about that, because that's probably not the healthiest view long term. So there's a difference between cost and value, or let's say cost and worth. So, I say, can I afford therapy? A counter question might be, can I afford to not go to therapy? Right? Depends. Another thing is look at, is therapy worth it? That's the first question. But maybe a better question is, am I worth it in investing in me? And so it's really how you look at that question, right? This is a tough conversation. Obviously, I'm the owner of the clinic. We want to help a lot of people. We have to pay the bills, etc. So of course, there's an interest on my side to invite people to, come and partake of our services. But really, from the client perspective, our members, who we're trying to help, I really want you to think about that. Like, am I worth it? Is this something that I want to invest into, take the chance on? Having that sense of the worth or value is important. So it isn't whether therapy is worth it. It's really, am I worth it? And that's an important mindset. There's something we can put down below on a personal responsibility inventory. It's kind of looking at all the things I take care of, the things that I have to manage, the roles I have, all that kind of stuff. But it's not funny when we write all that down, how much of it is about other people or things people are expecting from us, and not a lot of it is about ourselves. And I really hope that we do the exercise. I kind of gave away the plot here, but you're going to actually write down stuff about how things about you are important and where that comes in your personal responsibility inventory. And there's things that you're going to get in every typical therapy thing, but self-validation, right? A therapist tries to really help you look at, things you could do to affirm yourself, things to constantly build yourself up. This is a major part of motivation, right? Like, you kind of give yourself that little talk, the coach in the corner of the boxing ring, get out there and take another, take it to them. And you need that kind of voice. Well, we can start off obviously asking that from other people, right? Certain people love us, care for us, encourage us, even the therapist, like trying to assist you. But if we don't develop that inner voice, our own inner coach, our own kind of inner therapist, even just tell, hey, you can do this. You're worth it. Keep going. We won't make it. We just won't make it. It's the difference between a person who kind of lies down and dies in the middle of the desert and the person who makes it to the oasis. It's what they tell themselves. And that's an important part. If you don't have it, you got to build it while you're in therapy, because that is the key. So please make sure you continue to work on your self-worth, affirmations, etc. So therapy is not something done to you. I just want to kind of switch gears a bit here. A lot of people also have this misconception as they're investing in themselves that they think they're paying for therapy, so they're putting the therapy as the focus, and they're saying they got to give me something, they got to do something. No, true. We're going to give you tools, we're going to give you guidance, we're going to give you feedback, we're going to give you challenges, etc. There's things therapists give you, right? Therapy process gives you, but it's really also realizing therapy isn't done to you. We're not necessarily adjusting your back like a chiropractor in that sense. We're teaching you how to do certain things and guiding you so that you can do it on your own. So really, therapy is done by you with a therapist. Okay? Like the healer heals, but not on the person, but rather helps the person heal from within. Okay? It's like medicine. Medicine often is given, and in most circumstances, medicine just helps the body to do its own repairs, if you think about it. It might help reduce certain things so that the body can do its work. And people can kind of get diseased when it just becomes so overwhelming that the body just can't do its work. So medicine comes in and helps take care of certain kind of symptoms and factors so that the body can now do its work. So just like medicine really is about helping the body do its own healing, psychotherapy is about helping the patient get their own healing from within. And that's an important way to look at therapy as an investment and as like what its purpose is. So I want to mention again the financial sacrifice versus the emotional buy-in. I think there's a mistake in a lot of things in our consumeristic society that when we're pretty excited about something or pretty pumped up, we're ready to just go all in. I remember buying this thing. It was very expensive. It was a course. And I was all gung-ho about it, at the time. And like I kind of signed on the line and paid the money. And then I realized over time, like, that's not really what I wanted. And, doesn't matter. Money's gone, right? So I think that we can get our emotions in the way with our purchases. I hope you don't buy into a therapy program with the idea that it's quick and easy and it's just because I'm emotionally ready for it like that. Because then emotions come and go. Emotions are not how we should guide ourselves. Emotions are great indicators. I have talks on other courses on this, but emotions can be a great indicator as to like what's going on under the hood, right? It's kind of like a dashboard of a vehicle. The light comes on, it catches your attention, and you go, oh, something's going on under the hood. So emotions are useful, but they should not be our guide. They should not be what determines our next action. Staying committed, having the right motivation to get the best out of therapy, you have to plow through even when the emotions are all over the place or are not there at all. Start to get numb, not feeling anything, and so on. Those are things you can work on in therapy, but I just want to make it, clear. Don't let emotions be your master, okay? If you've made a determination, you're trying to get to a certain destination, you're going to have a certain goal met, then you can't decide whether I'm going to go to therapy again this month by an emotion. You have to show up, and it will make the change. I know that's the same like for me at the gym, right? Especially early on in developing a habit of going, you don't want to go. Like you don't want to go. And there's many times that happens. Even today it can still happen. Like, I don't want to go today. But you never leave a gym regretting going. That's the thing about going to the gym. It's like, I feel great now. I'm glad I did that. But at the beginning, you don't want to go. You don't even want to get out of the house, right? So it's similar with therapy. There's times you're going to not want to go. There's times you just want to quit. You're going to want to call in and cancel. You're going to maybe avoid making the next appointment and so on. And I'm telling you, like, that's the time to make yourself do it. That's the time. Because that's why you're going to get past the problem you're in. And if you do it the other way, you're paying money and being maybe in a program and just sitting it out and not getting anywhere. So don't let your emotions be your master, and don't let sort of the pain and resistance take you over. If you have a commitment to a certain rhythm of therapy, stick with it, okay? So you are worth the investment. You might want to tell yourself that again and again, all right? Look in the mirror, do that whole kind of Saturday Night Live, I am worth it, I am good, I am lovable, whatever. But you got to do it, because if you don't remember your worth, you're not going to deliver to the level you deserve. Your homework today, write your personal declaration of investment. Like, in other words, this is what I'm willing to put in to my self-development. This is what I'm ready to sacrifice, when I'm ready to give in time, when I'm ready to give in effort, when I'm ready to give with all kinds of other levels of commitment. Write it down. Look at your resources. Now, you may not have them all right away, but you're going to say, I'm going to fight for this. I'm going to do this. Get your commitment to self. So we talked about the commitment letter before. This one's more about your personal declaration of your worth and your investment, why you're worth it, and what you're going to invest into it. Okay? That's all we have for today. See you at the next session.